tools you'll need. I have a bowl here that I'm going to just put the crab meat in. I'm not going to eat it in front of you. Here's a crab knife. This is from Carville Hall. I got a bunch of these, and this is to pick the meat out. Here's some crackers to crush the shells, the claws, and I got some very own from Stauffer Seafood that I used to own for 25 years. My own little mallets to also crush the claws. So let's start with this big boy right here. Now I could pick him up right away. I could tell he's light. So as you know, crabs come in, and these are, they do shed their shells. This one had probably recently shed its shell and hasn't filled out and filled up the meat in the crab itself. So what I like to do first is I just break the claws off like this, and then back here's the, as you see it's a male, we're going to pull this tab off right here and discard that, and then you take your two thumbs, you stick one in here like this and pull the crab apart. Then you'll see here, these are the lungs. You pull this off, you pull the face off, you pull the lungs off the other side. Biggest mistake I see people make is they'll rip all the legs off first. Well, that's your big mistake, because you want to keep those on because it's easier to pull the meat out. I pull it and break it in half, set one side down, pull this off. Then what I do is take this with your fingers and crush it a little bit in half, stick your fingers in the middle, and pull it off. As you can see here, this crab has different cartilages there, and there's different shell with the meat coming in. So it comes apart very nice like this, and just gently pull it out with your fingers. Try not to get the shell in the bowl. Now, if I'd be just picking crabs to eat myself, I'd be eating this, but I don't want to be rude and eat in front of you, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just pick it and put it in the bowl as such. Then you get the other part, which is the best part, and you have this, pull the leg off. You see the meat stuck to it, so then you're biting that right off, okay? You pull this part here, and then you pull this off again. Here's the back fin, as you see. You pull this off. I gently pull the shell off like that, and then you have this lovely part of crab just like this that you can see. It's really, really super tasty and big, and you have to be very careful because you never know. Somebody's going to reach over and grab it from you when you least expect it. So guard the back fin, okay? So then that's the other side. Claws are nice. I always break them in half this way and gently try to pull. If they don't come out, smash them with the hammer once. Then you can pull the meat off like this. Pull out the, you'll see here you can grab it. Now if you didn't know, crabs, really some of the best ones are from Maryland, which is where I like to get them from. Actually, I bought these local at Crab Crazy here in Reading. He gets some nice crabs in. I got to give him credit. He does a great job. He calls me too when he got the big ones. So I pull this off and put it in here. The crabs, they in the wintertime you don't see them because the crabs will actually, in cold water, dig themselves into the sand, and they will stay there until like the spring. And somebody had a brilliant idea one time. They thought, well, let's dig these crabs out of the sand and sell them. Well, they did that, and hence the meat was all sandy. We actually got some meat one time, and they sent it out, and this was like grit. And I said, what is this? And what they were doing is they were dredging the bottom for crabs in the winter. So that's not a great idea. So we can get crabs. Oh, that pulled out really nice. You see that part? That's really sweet the way that came. I love the claw. The claw's a little darker, but as you know, it's actually a little sweeter in flavor than the dark than the white. So this is a special one too. So there you go. It's a nice piece of claw like that. And you have to watch. There's sticky fingers keep coming in and stealing my crab meat. Hence the hammer. You need that to guard off. So like I said again, let's do one more and then we'll probably wrap this up. Again, rip the claws off, pull the apron off. There goes another piece. And then here's your claws. Now I like to dip this in there. Now let's just hear, this one's got a lot more and it's a heavier crab. We're gonna scrape this meat out of this gook out of the middle, the mustard part sometimes they call it. We're gonna rip these lungs off right there, get all that off. So again, now if this bothers you like that, rinse it off with cold water, it'll be fine. Sometimes people have like a little water dish here. And I also have, make sure you have a nice cold beer with you and also some paper towels, because if the phone rings, you have to run up and wipe your hands real quick. So again, break it in half, lay part down. You got this part here, so we're gonna take this off. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze this together like this and pull it apart. I always like to save the best part over here and do this part first. Pulling all the meat out of the crevices, and again, breaking each part apart like that, and then you'll see that it comes out really nice and easy. You can eat crabs hot, which is what I prefer, or cold the next day. I'll just bring them out here and they're gonna taste just as good the next day. As you saw, we have crabs in different sizes. The best ones, they're called the Jimmies, #1s, are the males, and they're gonna be called supers or jumbos. These are, like this is almost a jumbo. That's like an extra large. So I got some really nice crabs here for an extra large value. They are expensive in the beginning of the season. You'll see those, like crabs like this would probably cost like 85 a dozen. And then later in the summer and in the late fall is when the best crabs are. People have had their fill, and then you come along to like maybe September, everybody's back at school, and you're gonna find lots of crabs. The crabs are very fat, they've done shedding, they've filled up, the meat's full, and you get some really, really, really good deals. So I like that time of the year. If you find the weather hot, you will notice that crab prices go up, because a crabber, when he goes out on the boat, they don't have refrigeration on the boat. They're catching these crabs from the traps out of the water, which is fine, and they're putting them on the boat. As they sit, if it's a 90, 95 degree day, the crabs are gonna die. You're not gonna get everyone back alive. So what they wanna do is they wanna get the crabs in, if it's like in the 70s, that's primo weather. They'll stay on the boat live. They'll bring them back into the docks. They'll grade them and separate them. They'll separate the females as the cheapest ones. Then they'll have the smalls, mediums, large. Sometimes there's ungraded, and they just will send them as males or females. But what I see a lot of times is the crabs come into the market live in a refrigerated trucks at like 50 degrees. And that's what's really nice. Then if you get them and you want a whole bushel, you can buy them cheaper, steam them yourself. The best way to do that is to get a bath. You have two ways. You can stab each one here with an ice pick and wiggle it and kill the crab. You want to make sure it's alive when you steam it. Or what you do is you get a big, just a big barrel and fill it full of ice water, and put the crabs in there. Leave them in there for about 15 to 30 minutes. They'll get dormant. They'll get real slow, or they won't move, and that will keep the claws from falling off when you steam them. So that's a little bit of your crab lesson for today. I'm not going to sit here and eat crabs in front of you. I will eat them later after the video's off. But I hope you enjoy what you just learned, and enjoy your crabs.